Hello, boys and girls. I'm going to be reading for you the Exploration Discovery folder number 1. This folder is about the life of an explorer. In this folder, you're going to learn about how the explorers traveled on their voyages, what life was like on the ship, and what it took to be an explorer. Before you open up this folder, I want you to go ahead and get your social studies notebook out and have it open to the first page. It should say number 4 in the top right corner, and it should also say folder number 1. All right, once you have it, we're going to go ahead and open our discovery folder. We're going to start here. It says the life of an explorer. Be sure to follow along with me as I read and pick out any answers that are going to help you answer the questions on your paper in your social studies notebook. So it says, have you ever thought about what it would be like to be an explorer? Hundreds of years ago, it took a special, dedicated person to want to be an explorer. It was hard work to look through the discovery folder to learn about life aboard an explorer's ship and some of the experience of being an explorer. What did explorers do on the ship? Sometimes life on the ship would be exciting, but oftentimes the crew was out on the water for days with nothing to do. It could get very boring on the ship. Although life could be boring, there was always hard work to do. Crew members had to take care of the sails, wash the deck, and of course look out for land. One thing that the crew rarely did was take baths or wash their clothes. You can imagine how smelly the ship must have been. I want you to look at your paper, see if you have any questions that can be answered in these two passages. Pause the video. When you're ready, begin. The skills of an explorer. Not just anyone was cut out to be an explorer. Here are some skills they needed. 1. Explorers had to know how to read a map. Sometimes explorers even created their own maps of new places that they discovered. So here's a map. Skill number 2. It was also extremely important for explorers to know how to find their way using tools like a compass. Sometimes they even used the positioning of the stars in the sky at night to guide their way. And here you can see a compass. It says a tool that always points north so that you can tell where the other directional positions are. Skill number 3. Explorers also had to be able to read the sky for clues indicating that the weather might change. Stormy weather could mean danger for a ship and its crew. Knowing how to write an important skill was an important skill for explorers. They would often keep a written journal about places they had been, as well as their plans for future explorations. Food on the ship. Here we have salted meat. Salted food didn't spoil as fast as fresh food. Dried fruit. Dried prunes and raisins lasted longer than fresh fruit. And here are also some dried peas. All right, I want you to go back on both of these sheets, find any questions that may have been answered. Go back and use the text in the discovery folder to answer those questions. Once you're finished, we're going to turn over to the last section. All right, it says getting sick on the ship. Hundreds of years ago, people didn't always understand why it was important to eat well, since fresh, healthy food was not available on the ship. Many times, crewmates would get sick. The worst disease that men got on the ship was called scurvy. Scurvy would happen to people when they didn't get enough vitamins in their food. Vitamin C, which is found in food like lemons and oranges, was the most important. When a man got scurvy, they would become very tired. His skin would get a rash, his gums would start to bleed, and eventually his teeth would fall out. Many men on the ship died of scurvy. Talk about it. What do you think would be the hardest part of being an explorer? Discuss that with your partners. Question 2. What do you think would be the most exciting part of being an explorer? Discuss that question with your neighbor. And lastly, discuss how would you feel if you had a family member that was an explorer during this time?